All right, good morning. This is Lucky Lynx, and I want to address something that someone wrote to me about this week. Someone sent me a message this week, and he was very upset because he'd been asked to leave a group because he, while doing a reading in the group, asked some clarifying questions, and he was booted from the group because, as he put it, he was not demonstrating being completely omniscient. Okay, now I'd like to address this for a couple of reasons because I think it comes into being. This is what no one really discussed what it means to be a good reader. They talk about memorizing stuff, but no one really talks about what it means to be a good reader. Now, this particular individual that wrote me does some very unusual things, um, does some very unusual oracles, and has some very unique abilities. And it's my guess that what he was doing rattled whoever wanted him to leave. They didn't like the fact that he could do these things and they couldn't, and they asked him to leave. That's what I suspect. You guys have seen me do this video. I did a video on how to use a single die or a single card or whatever to do a whole reading on someone. I had told you that I had done a whole reading with just this one die. This is the love oracle. I got this, the one die. Okay, but and those of you who know me, have seen me in other groups, you guys have seen me like do an entire reading for someone on one card or one thing, one object or a couple cocktails or whatever. You've seen me like take one card, like a soul card or whatever, and do an entire reading on someone with that. Okay, so you guys know and have seen me do that. Okay, um, excuse me, there's lots of allergy here in Chicago this morning. Here's the thought: asking clarifying questions is not a bad thing, and this is why. Um, because in the last video where I did this, I said I'd roll the die, I'd look at what was coming up, I'd ask myself, okay, how do I phrase this as a question to get the person to open up deeper? First of all, this is the thing: you can be two kinds of readers. You can be that individual who sort of dominates the person sitting in front of you and just scattershots everything at them and hope something sticks. It never does. They usually leave going, okay. Um, Now I've been doing this for a long time. I've been reading people for a long time, and I've done thousands of readings, so I know what I'm talking about here. Or you can be the individual that sort of looks at what's going on in their lives and formulates a question and asks them something that helps resonate inside of them, so that they actually get what you're trying to tell them, and they can actually come to a conclusion themselves. People are more likely to make a change if they come to a conclusion themselves, not if you force something on them. I have watched readings for people do readings for a long time where they dominate an individual. They'll just shove all this stuff that they're saying. There's like, this is going on and you have to accept it. I still remember this one. She read for me and she told me all this stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not happening. She's like, well, it will be valuable to you and it will make, no, it never did. She was trying to dominate me. She's trying to, I'm like, you're full of crap. So, and I see that all the time. They'll try to shove their crap on people and go, well, you have to recognize. You don't. You don't. Don't be dominated by someone like that. That's an idiot. That's someone who's not trying to help you. That's someone's trying to prove something to you, really because they're trying to prove to themselves that they have ability. If you don't have to prove something to yourself, you're okay with asking a person a question and go, hey, you know what? What about this? The real savvy reader can actually see what's going on in a situation and doesn't have to prove his or her ability to the person he's reading. He or she is more concerned with helping the person in front of him, and you can say, hey, you know what, can I ask you about this? And maybe when they ask themselves the question, they start to make a realization. Okay, so this whole habit of dominating the people in front of you by forcing what you're saying on them. Your so and so is trying to talk to you. No, they're not. I believe in reincarnation. They're not. They're gone. Okay, that thing that's talking to you is something trying to trick you into believing that that's my grandma. She's gone. She's reincarnated. You know. So um, when you get that stuff and you start to see stuff and you start to recognize something in someone's life, it might be more to your advantage to say, hey, um, I want to ask you about something, and ask that question that helps the individual sort of make the realization on their own. Because No one likes to feel that someone else is dominating them or taking advantage of them. We all want to be able to make or at least a lot of us want to be able to make our own connections. Now, I also did another video where I told you guys that sometimes it's important to spook people because you create a magic moment that allows for change. But again, in those situations, you don't want to dominate an individual. You want to sort of ask them questions once you've opened them up the possibility. They go, whoa, how did you get this? And then you have a possibility in creating a magic moment to actually make change in their life. Now, that night that I went out and I used one die and I kept asking clarifying questions, I would add a thing here and add a thing there. And she looked at me and she said, how do you know any of this? You don't know me. Okay, so don't think that you can't create a magic moment by doing so. And to the person who got booted from the group, it's crap. The fact that they expected you to be quote unquote omniscient and that you can't ask a clarifying question, that's stupid, because in old divination they used to ask a question back and leave you with the question that was supposed to unlock the stuff inside of you. So this whole habit of I'm going to tell you everything, it's silly. It doesn't do anything. It smacks of, you know, these psychics who are on TV who didn't really do much and have proved over time that they didn't really know much. So that's all I'm saying. So consider it and think about this. I think it's an important topic. And you guys, if you have any questions, put them in the thing below. And watch the video I did in the dice group on how to do a reading with one die or, you know, one card or whatever. And it might change the way you look at things and help give you more options.